right, great. So this is going to be the last section of videos. In this video, I'm just going to tell you how to actually generate some cards. So you have to have Anki open, so make sure Anki's open and running. And then from the main screen, you can just press drop file here, click to upload, and then you just navigate to wherever your lecture PDF is and open that up. You can select, I don't think there's a limit. I think you can select 1,000 PDFs at a time. So if you wanted to, you could upload even more PDFs. Just as an example, I'll select all of these. If you feel fine and dandy about all your settings, once you have everything set up, you could just, or everything uploaded, you can name each of the individual decks here and then press generate all decks. If you want two PDFs to share the same deck, just simply change the deck name to the exact same thing. So for example, I could name this one test, and then these would have the same deck, but with different cards coming from different PDFs. If, for example, you have a PDF that has some really crappy pages that you definitely don't want included in the card creation process, you can go to Exclude Pages and then press Load Page Previews. Now this isn't the most ideal setup, but this is going to allow you to go through and select every page that you don't want included. So you can just click whatever you don't want included. It'll tell you how many you have excluded right here, and then when you generate the deck, it will exclude those pages. So again, basic process: upload your file, name your deck, press generate all decks. Content strategy. So content strategy is how the system will handle learning objectives. So if your professor lists learning objectives within the PDF, you could press auto extract objectives, and that will find the objectives within the PDF and use them to filter the material. You could also provide your own specific objectives if you wanted, or if you don't want to filter whatsoever, just leave it on extract all facts. Language is self-explanatory. You can select whatever language you want to use, and the output will be in that language. So that's it for the main page. Now I'll discuss the individual settings. I've already discussed all the AI and API in the previous video. So we'll go over to pipeline. So the pipeline settings are detailing how cards are made and in how many cards are made at a time. So I'm just going to discuss every single setting here so that it's clear what they mean. So enable auto curation, I personally use. What this does is it removes every single page in the PDF that looks like a reference page or a table of contents or a page that does not have any actual information on it. So it'll remove that. It'll just speed up the processing a bit and remove some fluff from your cards. This harvester batch size, this is the number of pages the AI will analyze at a time. So if you're running a really crappy model, I would put this all the way down to 1 page. If you're on a cloud-based service, you could probably bump it up to 20 pages. I personally use Ollama. I keep mine at 3 pages. That works pretty well for me. The balance is going to be if you do a higher number of pages, you're going to get less facts unless you have a really strong model, but it might be a little faster. And if you do less pages, you'll get more facts and it'll be more precise. So if you're concerned about quality, I would recommend that you stay below 3 or less pages, unless you're using a cloud service. Those models can handle some pretty huge amounts of information at a time. The safe sieve threshold, what this is it is comparing the facts that are extracted to the objectives that you selected. So to reiterate, when you were in deck creation, you get to select whether or not we use objectives to filter things. So if you have one of these two selected, then this setting is going to take in effect. What this is it's a threshold for comparing the objectives to the factual information. If the factual information is not related to the objectives, it is removed from the end creation and the deck creation. So it's automatically set to 0.25. I find that that's pretty good. If for some reason you're finding that you have too much fluff, you could increase this, and otherwise you could decrease it. If it's all the way at 1, you're not going to get any information at all. So again, around 0.25 is a pretty good setting. This is where you select your card type. So you have two options: basic, Q, question and answer, bullet points, or close. So I'll go over the settings for the basic ones first. The first is cards per prompt. So this is the number of cards that you are asking the AI to generate at one time. So if you're running locally, you should just leave this at 1. So if you're using Ollama, leave this at 1. If you're using a cloud-based service, you could raise this up to 5 or 10 or 20. The basic idea is you are asking the AI to make one card for a given set of facts. If you increase this to 2 cards per prompt, you will be asking the AI to make 2 cards at one time instead of just 1 at one time. Minimum facts is the minimum number of facts to include per card. So the information in the PDF will be broken down into individual fact units, and this is the minimum number of facts you want to include per card. Reddit's going to recommend you leave this at 1, and max facts maybe at 1 or 2. Max facts is obviously the same thing except maximum. Reddit's minimum information principle is probably going to recommend you leave minimum facts at 1 and this at 2 to 1. I leave it at 3 just because I like the chunked information a little bit more. And then this last option, extract images. This is just going to find images from the PDF and put them onto cards that have information that came from the same page as the image did. So that's it for pipeline settings. And you can reset to default here as well if you ever get lost and you feel like you fucked everything up. Oh, I should also detail close paragraph instructions. So these cards per prompt and all that remains the same, but you also now have some other additional settings for close cards. So the first setting is going to be whether or not the closes are all appearing at once or not. So this combined all C1, what that means is that if you have 3 closes on one card, they're all going to be a singular Anki card. You're not going to see each word individually. Sequentially would show you, again, if you have 3 different facts, it would show you 1 at a time, where the other 2 are visible and 1 is being closed. And then it will go through each of them. Grouped is very similar, and then alternating, of course. For most people, you're going to want to use sequential or alternating. Keywords, this is the number of keywords to convert into closed deletions per card. So what that means is if you have, for example, a goal of just 1 closed deletion per card, you should set this to 1. So this is going to make it so every single card only has 1 singular close. You could up this to 2, 3, whatever you want. It's probably best to leave it at 1 though. Last is group size. This is the number of closed keywords in one group per close deletion. So what that means is it's the maximum number of words that can be inside of one singular close. So if a close, for example, is a 3-word noun, this needs to be 3 words, otherwise that's not going to be a possible close. If you only want 1-word closes, leave them at 1. I hope that makes sense. Let me reiterate it. If I have this set to 1 and this is my card, it's just going to close 1 word like that in a singular group. If I have it set to 2 or 3, it could set up to 3 words as one singular close. I hope that makes sense. I recommend probably 3, 4. This one matters less than this one. All right, next is styling. So styling's a lot simpler, thank goodness. How should I say this? So down here, you get to select the color of whatever you want something to be. So if you want structures to appear light blue in text, you could put it as light blue or whatever. It's automatically set to these colors that I like personally. If you don't want any color at all, you're going to have to individually bring all of them to white, which is this hex here. But you literally just get to, select it. It's nice and pretty. And you can select it, and what that means is the text that is produced in your card will have that color if it is data. Here you can add in additional things that you want to have those colors. So if you want more items to fall under anatomy in this blue color, you would type them here. So if for some reason ear is not becoming blue, you would type ear here. Or if you want drug name or anything like that, it just needs to be a comma separated list. Well, drug names is right here. But that's the basic premise for each of these. Drug names is pharma. I don't know why I didn't do it like that. And then pathology terms is actually processes. And then here, Anki tags, this is how you would add a tag to every single card. So for example, you could type in lecture 11 or pathology or ear, nose, and throat. Just make sure it's a comma separated list like this. Next is the surgeon. So the job of the surgeon is to limit what defines a single fact, and basically this is going to change how big one fact is according to the program. So if you want your facts to be bigger, you want to increase this value right here. This one is the number of maximum words per singular fact unit. So that means a single fact can be a maximum of 20 words. There's no minimum here, it's just a maximum. I find 20 words is actually pretty reasonable. It seems like a lot, but it's pretty good. And so that'll be a singular sentence, 20 words maximum. Bullet cost is how many facts are included as a single bullet point. So this doesn't matter for close cards, neither does this one. Basically, if this is low, you're going to have more bullet points. If it's high, you'll have fewer bullet points. So low for this means more information. High for this means less information. Same thing for sub-bullet cost. Lastly, you have prompts. The prompts, I wouldn't really recommend editing unless you feel pretty confident in editing them. The specific information that you would probably want to edit would be the instructions themselves. So in the harvester, the job of the harvester is to extract all facts from the provided text. So you could alter its instructions here, but I would really not recommend that you alter this page tracking portion or any of this output portion or the text to process. The librarian is responsible for, it's a filter essentially. So you would change its instructions here. The creator is the one that actually makes the cards. So for this one, if you wanted to alter its instructions, go down to the instructions. You could alter its instructions for the front of the card and the back of the card. I kind of forget what the critic does. It's mostly responsible for joining facts that are somewhat too long based off what the surgeon says. But yeah, honestly, the critic's not that important. And then you have your session logs as well. It looks like I forgot to include the Cloze prompts in here. I'm a medical student. I don't really feel like adding them back in. So if you want to edit the Cloze prompts, what you could do is you could go to the folder that contains, that you downloaded, that's unzipped. Open it all the way up and go to prompts.py. You can right click that, press edit in Notepad. Every single prompt is written here, and you could just edit it manually through this and then save it like normal. And that's your workaround for the Cloze prompts. So you'd have to scroll all the way down to the Cloze prompts and work with those. Do not edit the schemas. That's going to ruin things. Do not edit the input or output data. Only edit the specific instructions. Otherwise, you're going to mess everything up. I believe that's pretty much everything. I really hope this program works well for you. I do recommend that you don't rely solely on this program. It is AI. It's great for making cards, but really you should be learning this information on your own and then going back over it later. Please message me on Reddit if you have any questions. I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as I can.